What is up, guys? Flossy Missiles here. In today's video, we finally got the wiring harness, so we're going to go ahead and install that on the Volkswagen Vanagon, the Subaru conversion. This took quite a few months to get, so I'm super stoked to finally get it. I got it from Auto Ventures. His name is Jeff from Auto Ventures. Let's open up the box and see what we got inside. So apparently there was a delay with the boards or something like that. That's why it took so long. Whoa. Makana. Here's our little puppy Makana. You guys haven't seen her yet, go follow her on Instagram. It's Makana the Goldie. With underscores. With underscores. She is so cute. She is an English cream golden retriever. And I love her so much. Okay, little psycho. Wow. So yeah, it's really quite cut down from what I actually sent them, which is a good thing. And also they mentioned that the ECU is going to be in a different box, or it's getting shipped separately, which I thought was strange. But yeah, the ECU is going to come separately. And yeah, this is the harness. There's his board and everything that eliminates a bunch of stuff. So cool, looks really clean. Down in the shop now, I just set the harness right on top of the engine, and we're going to see where everything wants to be routed. So yeah, it's just going to be a little kind of a tedious process of seeing where everything fits in nice. I'm going to go ahead and put some dielectric grease on all these little plastic things so they're easy to get on and off, so I'm not destroying them, taking them on and off a million times. This stuff right here has to be plugged in over here, so we're going to figure that out as well. I'm going to run a new wire for the fuel pump because the old fuel pump wire is just all chewed up all the way along. I can't believe I use it like that for however long I've been driving this thing. And so we're going to replace that wire completely and go through it. The ECU just came in the mail, so I'm stoked on that. That came in like 2 days later. I'm going to have to drill a hole under the seat right there so the ECU can go through. And yeah, here's the big ECU plug. That thing is massive. But yeah, just basically just seeing where things plug in. So I got the wiring harness ran underneath the van, and I'm planning on putting it right through here and then bolted on right here. And I chose this flat area right here because you know, the gasket, the grommet, the Subaru grommet will fit nicely on a flat surface like this, and so I don't want to click close to these edges. And then, like I said, I'll bolt it on right here. I went underneath and checked the backside because I drilled a little hole real quick in it. This is a 2 1/8 hole saw. And so yeah, I checked the backside, make sure there's nothing in the way. And yeah, now I'm gonna go ahead and drill through this, and then we'll mount up the ECU. Hole is drilled, and with this finger sander, I went ahead and cleaned up the hole a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out the insulation stuff on the back side of it, and then throw a little bit of paint on it, just on the raw metal so it doesn't rust ever, and then we'll pull that wiring harness, or yeah, the end of the wiring harness through. Alright, I got the grommet pulled through with all these connectors, and I got the ECU plugged in, and there's the Auto Ventures board right there. Take a look at that thing. Focus, focus. So that fixes your speedo or your tachometer and does a few other things pretty nifty. Then your relays for your fuel pump and stuff are right there. But yeah, that was a tight hole to get through. I had to put a little slit extra in it and do some work on that just to pull it all the way through because it was a tight fit. I should have done it the other way. I should have drilled the hole first, then ran the harness out, because at this point I've already installed the wiring harness and ran it completely how I want to. And yeah, everything turned out really good. Here's my alternator lines, plugs in. There's for my AC, when I get an AC system. Goes right into my compressor. For the coolant. What else do I got back here? Then that line runs back to the starter. And then from the starter, goes over here to this post right here on the black box. For some reason on the 83, 84, it's pretty hard to find information out about the black box. Most of it was for you know, 85 on upward. So I had to go through some forums to find the right stuff. But I'll show you if you have an 84. It's going to be this red with black wire right there. It's like this really big plug. And that one is going to go, if you have an Auto Ventures harness, to the orange one for your tachometer to make that work. The rest of them are all plug and play. They say like alternator on it. They just find your alternator harness. Yeah, they all have labels on them that he sends you. He's plugged into the vacuum one's nice and easy, a little bit long. This one for the intake for the MAF is super long, so I wrapped it around. Might do something with that later, but it plugs in nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and bend these flat to mount my igniter right against the wall right here. And I gotta see if these lines will hold themselves up. It's kind of dark down there. Or if I'm gonna have to run like a zip tie or something to hold everything up. Hopefully I can get everything back in this black box to fit nice. Some of these things I'm not gonna be using right away, like the AC, I'm not gonna have a plug or anything to do with that. Check engine light, I don't really, not too concerned about that. And extra speed, don't need that one. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get all that to fit nice and tucked up in there. Right now, I just started working on the alternator light fix. So if you don't do this alternator light fix, you're gonna have a problem with your light always being on. I think it's still charging, but it's just always on. And it's gonna have that oxygen light and that battery light on if you don't do this fix. So what it is a relay right here. It's a 5-pin relay, but you only use 4 pins of it. Here's the part number. I got mine from O'Reilly's, but I copied the same diagram and instructions that Buster provides on his website. So there is a line for Westphalia's that comes in right here. See this relay right here, that blue wire that comes from your alternator, goes under your seat, goes up through there. So you just basically have to follow that one to back here. And well, man, it's kind of hard to get a camera in here, but basically there's a blue line right there. You tap into one side of it and then into the other side. Here, it's this line on, and then into the other side of that blue line, and you run them into this 5-pin relay, and then you run one to a fused ignition source right there. But yeah, like I said, I'll post a diagram on that. But basically that just fixes that. Another thing you can do is just unplug the blue wire from the relay underneath your driver's seat, and you will not have those lights on. So that's kind of a quick fix, but then you'll never know if your alternator is actually charging or if there's actually a problem with the charging system. So this is the correct way to do it. That relay was 20 bucks, not bad. Now that I have it all hardwired in, this is a better example. So this is the wire coming from underneath the seat. The alternator wire goes into relay right here, as you can see, and then it goes out again to connect to this side of the balloon wire. So that wire is connected, and you just cut it in half, and then put 2 leads going down into here. And if you don't do this, you'll have that light on, but as soon as you touch this one to power, since I have these two jumpered together, as soon as I touch it against the power, it shuts it off. See? I have everything figured out where I think it's gonna go and how everything's gonna line up and what goes to what. I'm cleaning it all up and trying to get it all organized. I put all these little black grommets back in here, and they all fit nice. I ran the wiring harness through there, of course, and all bottoms are sealed, so hopefully no moisture gets in there. There's the 2 harnesses, that original Volkswagen ones that lead into the black box. Here's one of the connections. This is for your TAC signal for an 84. Super hard to find. I couldn't find that information out anywhere. Well, eventually I did find it, but it was a pain in the butt. Anyways, I'm gonna just go ahead and put a heat sink over this one so it doesn't do anything, and then I'll go ahead and wire this one to this one, solder it together, and we'll be good. So I've been moving pretty quickly and getting things done. The igniter is mounted to the firewall just with one nut and bolt all the way through. That was an existing Volkswagen hole, and with the wiring, it works perfect right there, perfect length. The ground strap I went ahead and put right here to this existing hole that was already on the Subaru motor, and this is the factory Volkswagen ground strap. This baby just came in right here. Let's open this thing up. This is a OBD2, like mobile, not mobile, OBD2 gauge set that works through Wi-Fi. So here it is. This was like $14 or $15 on Amazon, and looks like it comes with some instructions. So anyways, we're gonna set that up. I got the ECU mounted, went ahead and screwed that on right there, and then here is the board from Auto Ventures, and fuel pump relays, and some fuses, and then there is the plug for this guy to fit onto. And with that, I will be able to see like the oil pressure, the coolant temperature and stuff. I'm definitely going to want the coolant temp because I don't think it comes adjusted. So there's a slot for a Phillips to go in right there, and you adjust the coolant temp. I read online Subarus, 98 Subarus are supposed to be between, operating temperature is between 190 and 210. So once it gets to like 210, I'll put like a little above middle or something. I'll adjust it to that. But I'm going to go ahead and crank it a little bit to get the oil throughout the engine, build up some oil pressure. And then we're going to try to fire this thing up and hopefully test drive it. Alright, let's check it out. Let's check it out. Going for the first crank. Alright, I'm going to do this for a minute, let some oil pressure build up, alright? Okay, this is the app they want you to use. It's called In-Car Dock. It's kind of a piece of junk app. I don't really like that much if it'll focus. but I can see the coolant temps, but I can't see the oil pressure. It wants me to buy some upgraded version of different stuff on it. I don't know if that one has oil pressure on it or not, but we're gonna go ahead and plug everything back in now that we built up some oil pressure, theoretically, and we're gonna see if this thing will fire up. I cannot believe it. Subie swapped. Oh, I got some power steering leaking. Look at that. It's quiet too. Let's check for leaks. It's running kind of funny. Huh. Got kind of a weird sound to it. Maybe it's just trying to learn everything. I don't know. No way! Subie swap, baby! Oh, it sounds normal now. I don't see any exhaust. I mean, not that I would notice if you see an exhaust leak. It stinks really bad. Okay, I'm gonna let everything burn off. I'm gonna leave the cooling system real quick. And then we're gonna take this thing for a test drive, hopefully. The coolant system is blood and we're up to operating temperature. Check out how loud this intake is. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but this is the driver's side, and down in this corner is where the intake is mounted. So yeah, it's actually pretty loud. This thing was actually really easy to bleed compared to how it was before. I don't know if that means anything or not. There's probably more air pockets that I don't know about, but super quiet. I did find some leaks in the exhaust. So there's no leaks in anything that I did, but what the previous owner did or whoever made this piece, which you can get a factory Volkswagen J-pipe, but someone like cobbled this one together. But yeah, it leaks out of there. There, there's actually even a crack right there next to the O2 sensor. So yeah, kind of a piece, but I'm gonna go up the street with it real quick and see how it does. Not that this matters, but this is the first time. Oh, we got reverse. This is the first time using these axles. Oh, it revs up so nicely. Here we go. It's been down for a few months. Oh, that is smooth. It is quiet too. It's funny because you can hit it and take like a tad, but oh my gosh, check that out. We are on the road, baby. I zoomed in. All right, back to first. No stalling or nothing, no bucking. Gotta watch that temperature gauge. So far we're good though. I adjusted it so when it got to like 2, it got to like 2 something, not 210, but it got to like a little over 2, and I put it right above the little light. So we got a good clear of it. Right above middle, I guess, is where I put it. Very smooth power. We're going 40 like effortlessly, which is not saying much, but oh yeah, there's a little power. All right, so I can sit here and tell you how awesome the Subaru swap is and how nice it is to drive, but we're gonna let Eric tell you instead.
How you doing? I've already been picking on Josh on how ugly it is.
Yeah, he's definitely he's a Volkswagen guy, but I don't know if he's a Vanagon guy. But
let's see the motor.
Yeah, we're gonna check out the motor real quick. I'll show him where I hid the wiring and all that kind of jazz. And he's gonna take it for a test drive. Let me know how the clutch is, the power, and all that stuff.
Really nice.
First shot of the motor. So this is an EJ22 out of a Subaru Impreza. This is out of a 98. It's a 2.2 liter. Makes 136 whopping horsepower. So it's about 50 more horsepower than the Stalker.
In a golf cart. Nice job though. No, nice install. It's clean.
We'll show them the wiring. Use this in case something blows. And then here's my board to eliminate all the ECU codes, and I can also dial in my temperature gauge with that and all that stuff.
Yeah, got it out of the engine compartment too, which is good.
Yeah. I probably mentioned in the other videos, but I made the exhaust super high, so it's not the lowest part. It'd be the cross member is the lowest part. Yeah, so stock suspension's like a little bit taller on the Wolfsburg. And so yeah, they look a little meaner.
Yeah, I thought you put some sort of suspension on it because of the way it sits.
Yeah.
Oh no, it turned out nice.
Thanks, Eric. See how it drives. Just an adapter. Upgraded the starter to a Wasp starter. It's like a sandrail
I was gonna
style.
say, that thing
Cranks
wasn't used to that. Like the Volkswagen, you're like,
yeah. So stock start.
Shift linkage is nice.
Yeah, not too bad.
No.
Not too bad for having.
So did all that drop right in, or did you have to modify for that also?
No, the shifting linkage all stock. Yes, transmission stuff is mostly all stock except for the clutch and flywheel and all that stuff. Eric's grilling me because this thing's a little dirty.
Little dirty?
It's been sitting for a few months, all right?
I'm an old man, man. I can't even see out the window. It's so quiet. No exhaust on it.
Yeah.
Oh, this thing's got some pickup to it.
Yeah.
It does drive different though, man. Get a different feel from my other bus.
Yeah, for sure. I like this H1.
Yeah, it is. Look at that dude.
That's cool.
And mind you too, I'm also used to driving a 70.
Yeah.
So this is I'm not even used to driving a pancake motor style, and then it convert to a
Subaru.
Subaru, yeah. But this thing shifts really nice.
The best way I can describe like the power band compared to the stock is it's so smooth. Like the acceleration is just like
no, everything about it is
very linear.
A lot nicer. Yeah, you're not. I'm actually driving rough in it because I'm so used to having to feather everything. Feather clutch, feather, you know, feel where this thing's actually going to ride at, and everything's so positive. It's very smooth. Settling into it, drives nice. Drives real nice. The other thing that you don't feel through it either is your normal engine noise.
Yeah.
You don't feel any of the transaxle, which surprised me because you said you kept the stock transaxle.
Yeah.
But you don't feel any of the transaxle in it, or that vibration coming through the clutch or the motor.
Yeah.
The way I drive is by the feel of the car.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
So I'm feeling all those senses on it for the response of the vehicle and everything else, as opposed to touching the pedal.
Yeah.
And so it's really quiet, so it's throwing me off a little bit by not having that kind of
feedback.
That feedback from it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not insane power. Like I try to tell people, like they're like, "Oh, you swapped the Subie into it, it must be insanely fast." I'm like,
no,
it's not insanely fast. It's just insanely smooth, in my opinion.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's like the way you want this thing to drive.
Yeah.
It really is. It's not like you're gonna be out here laying rubber. Like when I had my 3185 in my bus,
Yeah.
that thing was a beast, but it was still nasty to handle.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right, so we're gonna take it up some hills really quick.
We're gonna drift it where Josh is not supposed to drift.
I don't drift over here, guys. Here, you can't give me my spots. It's good. No, we're gonna take up some hills.
Here in second gear, just kind of not running RPMs hard, driving it nice. This has always been a big pull for my bus. Accelerated up the hill, just plenty.
Yeah.
Where normally you're kind of stop dead, you know, in the earlier version motor. I don't know how the pancake drives on this, but any of the other buses I've had always seem like they struggle.
The best way I can describe the Subaru swap from like a really layman simple term is like the older buses are like a pancake style engine. Feels like a 2-stroke, and this feels like a 4-stroke.
Yes. No,
to where
exactly.
you can just get on the gas and it'll go.
Very good. It's always got a power band.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to find. That's a very good analogy of it, because you're constantly looking for where your power band is at in the Volkswagen motors. Where this one here, no matter like how low I let the RPM go, there's always more.
Final synopsis. Eric just took it for a little spin around.
Final synopsis, pleasure to drive. I didn't like this thing before. Didn't like the way it handled. Great power band. We talked a little bit about kind of it being the difference between a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke, and that's kind of how it drives. The power band is always there no matter what gear you're in. Pulls the hills nice. It's just a pleasure to drive now. The only thing weird about it is it's a bus. It's a
Nothing weird is the owner.
The owner, yeah, no.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it.
See you, brother.
Well, anyways, that's where I'm gonna wrap it up for today's video. Wiring harness install on my Subaru Vanagon conversion. Thing runs absolutely great, flawless, no issues at all. We're at 6,000 feet right now up in Lake Arrowhead, California. It's a beautiful day up here. And the van did great, so now I'm stoked to take this thing camping. We have a lot of trips planned. We're going to Big Sur here in a couple months and tons of stuff ahead. Back to Mexico in November and a lot of stuff coming up. So stoked to have this thing all tidied up. And hopefully you guys learned something on this wiring harness install. It wasn't too bad. And just don't be afraid to go ahead and start plugging stuff in. Like I said, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more car content. Thanks for helping with the unboxing.